Now we're going to come back to our equation. 2x plus 4 equals 4. Well, now you're saying, well, we already have the answer. The answer is 4, right? But let's say we want to figure out what this number is. What is the number times 2 plus 4 that yields this answer? What is it? Well, sometimes it's very easy. You know, x, you get a problem, x plus 2 equals 3. Say, what does x equal? Obviously 1. It doesn't take much thinking. That's something that even you can do, they can teach on the kindergarten level, or maybe a little later, maybe first grade when you're just dealing with addition. But in a sense, you're doing algebra. But there's just something that we can do with algebra, with equations, because they're going to get a lot more complicated than this. And when they get more complicated and we want to solve for our variable, okay, we want to solve for our variable, we have to do things. We have to manipulate the numbers around. We can do that. And that's actually a cool thing. 2x plus 4 equals 4. So now, like we had this other equation, x plus 2 equals 3, we manipulated the number. We moved one of the numbers over here in order to solve this. Now we're going to do the same thing with this equation. So someone tell me what they would do. What's the first thing they would do? Their goal is to solve for x. Our goal is to figure out what number times 2 plus 4 equals 4. We're going to move the 4 by subtracting. What we do is in algebra, we do the opposite. So if this said 2x minus 4, we would, of course, add, because we want those crossed out. Okay? Essentially, what we want to do is isolate the variable. That's what we're trying to do here to solve for the variable. We want to isolate. Isolate, coming from the Latin solus, meaning alone. Think of solitude, isolation, which is basically the same word. I think it probably has something to do with sun, because sol, like in Spanish means sun, and the sun's a big, lonely, hot orb. I don't know what, there's some relationship there, but the point is that isolate the variable. That's what we want to do. We want to get the variable on its own. Okay? We essentially did that here. Now we're going to do that here. So we subtracted 4 because, again, we want to do the opposite. Those cancel out, and we can just write a line like a slash to that. We don't have to scribble it out or erase it. In fact, I don't really ever want you to erase that. You can if you want, but it's really good not to erase it because, well, I'll just pose it as a question. Why don't we want to erase that? Because we simply could just have erased that.
Because then you can't see what you've done.
Okay. And how would that be a major problem if at the very end we got an answer that wasn't right?
You wouldn't be able to go back and figure out what the problem was.
That's right.